Are you tired of lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, just waiting for sleep to come? We've all been there. It's maybe the most universal human frustration. The day is done, you're exhausted, and you just want to drift off. But your brain has other plans. Suddenly, it's time to worry about tomorrow, replay today's mistakes, and generally solve all the world's problems. The minutes tick by, turning into hours, and the pressure you put on yourself to just fall asleep only makes it harder. You've probably heard the usual advice: cut out caffeine, put your phone away. But what if the real secret to falling asleep faster was hidden in your thermostat and your weekend alarm clock? It turns out that sleeplessness isn't something you have to just accept. The solution isn't about trying harder. It's about understanding the simple science that runs your body's natural sleep-wake cycle. In this video, I'm going to show you how your body's internal clock works and give you 2 simple, science-backed changes you can make to fall asleep faster and finally wake up feeling rested. Before we get to the 2 secrets, we have to understand the system we're trying to work with. Deep inside your brain, there's a tiny cluster of nerve cells called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. Let's just call it your body's master clock. This clock acts as the conductor of your internal orchestra, telling almost every part of your body when to be active and when to rest over a 24-hour period. This is your circadian rhythm. Think of it as your body's operating system. It controls your hormones, your metabolism, and your body temperature, telling you when to feel alert and when to feel sleepy. This internal clock is ancient, evolved over millennia to sync up with the most powerful cue on the planet, the daily cycle of light and darkness. The problem is, our modern lives are constantly at war with this primal rhythm. We blast ourselves with artificial light long after the sun goes down. We work odd hours, and we treat our weekends as a time to completely abandon the schedule we keep during the week. The result is a confused and out-of-sync master clock. When your circadian rhythm is out of whack, your body no longer gets clear signals about when to be asleep or awake. It's like an orchestra where the conductor keeps changing the tempo. This internal chaos is a huge reason why so many of us struggle to fall asleep and wake up feeling refreshed. So how do we fix it? The master clock mainly listens to 3 things: light, timing, and temperature. We're going to focus on the 2 you have the most powerful and immediate control over: temperature and timing. By mastering these, you can resynchronize your internal clock and make falling asleep an automatic, effortless process. Let's start with the first, and maybe most surprising, lever you can pull: temperature. We usually associate being warm and cozy with sleep, but your body actually needs to cool down to fall asleep. Your core body temperature naturally rises and falls during the day, and about 2 hours before your natural bedtime, it starts to drop. This drop is a powerful biological signal to your brain that it's time to get ready for sleep. Your body even has a built-in radiator system. It's called vasodilation, which is just a fancy way of saying the blood vessels in your hands and feet open up, allowing heat to escape and lowering your core temperature. If you've ever noticed your hands and feet getting warm just before you feel sleepy, that's your body's natural cooling system at work. But our modern habits often get in the way. Central heating, warm pajamas, and heavy blankets can stop our bodies from cooling down effectively. So what's the fix? First, create a cool sleeping environment. Most sleep scientists recommend a bedroom temperature between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 15 to 19 degrees Celsius. A common target is around 65 degrees Fahrenheit, 18.3 degrees Celsius. This might sound chilly, but a cooler room helps your body reach the lower temperature it needs for deep, restorative sleep. The second method is even more direct. Take a warm bath or shower 1 to 2 hours before bed. It sounds backward, but here's how it works. When you get out of the warm water, the cooler air causes your body to lose heat rapidly. This exaggerated drop in core body temperature sends a massive time for sleep signal to your brain. It's not the warmth of the bath itself, but the rapid cooling afterward that makes you sleepy. Research has even shown this can help you fall asleep about 10 minutes faster on average. Now for the second critical piece of the puzzle: timing. If temperature is the switch that starts the sleep process, timing is what makes sure that switch is ready to be flipped at the same time every night. This brings us to something called social jet lag. Social jet lag is the mismatch between your body's internal clock and your social clock, the schedule set by work, school, and your social life. It happens when you wake up early during the week, then stay up late and sleep in on the weekends. That Saturday morning lie-in might feel amazing, but it sends your master clock into total confusion. For 5 days, your body learned to wake up at 7 a.m. Then on Saturday, the signal doesn't come until 10 a.m. Your internal clock starts to drift later. When Sunday night comes around and you try to go to bed at your usual weekday time, your body isn't ready. You've basically given yourself a mild case of jet lag without ever leaving your house. This is why Sunday night insomnia is so common. This weekly yo-yoing of your sleep schedule is seriously disruptive. Research consistently shows that social jet lag is linked to a higher risk of health issues, including obesity and metabolic disorders. The solution is simple, but it takes discipline. Anchor your weekend alarm. The most important thing you can do to stabilize your circadian rhythm is to wake up at roughly the same time every single day. Yes, that includes Saturday and Sunday. Your wake-up time is the anchor that sets your entire 24-hour rhythm. By keeping it consistent, you give your master clock its strongest signal. You'll find that you not only start waking up more easily, but you'll also start feeling naturally sleepy at a consistent time each night. Quick pause. Before we continue, as we are talking about men's health and well-being, here's something worth knowing. If you've been feeling frustrated or even embarrassed about changes in bedroom performance, sensitivity, stamina, or desire, you're not alone. And it's not your fault. There's a 100% natural solution that's already helped thousands of men feel confident and energized again. No pills, no injections, no procedures, no surgery, no risky shortcuts. Just a simple, easy home remedy you can make at home, designed to support what researchers are now calling the manhood molecule, a key factor for arousal, blood flow, and lasting power. Find out more. There's a link in the description and in the pinned comment. Check it out. It could be the very thing you've been looking for. Okay, once you've got temperature and timing down, you can add a few supporting habits to make things even better. First, control your light exposure. Light is the single most powerful cue for your circadian rhythm. You need bright light exposure as soon as you can after waking up. Morning sunlight hitting your eyes signals to your master clock that the day has officially started. This suppresses the sleep hormone melatonin and, just as importantly, sets a timer in your brain to start releasing melatonin again about 14 to 16 hours later. Just 10 to 15 minutes of morning sun, even on a cloudy day, is enough to lock in your wake-up anchor. Conversely, you have to avoid bright light at night, especially blue light from phones, tablets, and TVs. This specific wavelength is particularly good at tricking your brain into thinking it's still daytime, which suppresses melatonin production. Some research has even shown that blue light can suppress melatonin for about twice as long as green light. The best move is to stop using screens at least an hour or two before bed. Read a real book, listen to a podcast, do anything that doesn't involve a screen. Second, create a relaxing wind-down routine. You can't go from 100 miles per hour to 0 the second your head hits the pillow. Your nervous system needs a transition. A 30 to 60-minute routine tells your brain and body it's time to power down. This could include that warm shower, some light stretching, or listening to calm music. If a racing mind is your problem, try a brain dump. About an hour before bed, grab a notebook and write down everything that's on your mind, your to-do list, your worries, random ideas. Getting these thoughts out of your head and onto paper gives your brain permission to let them go for the night. This simple act can quiet the mental chatter that keeps so many of us awake. We've covered the mechanics of sleep, but there's one final, powerful element: your mindset. There's a fascinating phenomenon known as placebo sleep. In a study, researchers told one group of people they had an amazing, above-average night of sleep, full of restorative REM cycles, regardless of how they actually slept. They told another group they slept poorly. When tested on cognitive tasks the next day, the group that believed they had slept well performed significantly better. Their perception of sleep had a bigger impact than their actual sleep. What this tells us is that your anxiety about sleep matters. If you go to bed convinced you're going to have a terrible night, you create a self-fulfilling prophecy. That anxiety creates a state of hyperarousal that makes it harder to sleep. This is why adopting a science-backed routine is so powerful. When you cool your room, take a warm bath, and anchor your alarm, you aren't just changing your biology, you're changing your mindset. You're taking control with a plan that's based on real science. This belief reduces sleep anxiety. You're no longer lying in bed just hoping for sleep to happen. You're actively creating the conditions for it. This shift from a passive, anxious state to an active, empowered one can be the final piece of the puzzle. Believing you are a good sleeper is a huge step toward becoming one. So, that's the simple science. Falling asleep quickly isn't about magic. It's about working with your body's master clock, not against it. Your two most powerful tools are temperature and timing. First, help your body cool down with a cool bedroom and a pre-bed warm shower. Second, anchor your body's clock by waking up at the same time every day. Support these pillars by getting morning sunlight, avoiding screens at night, and creating a routine to quiet your mind. And finally, believe in the process. When you take control of your sleep, that confidence itself will help you get the rest you deserve. You don't have to do everything at once. Start with one thing. Turn down your thermostat tonight. Set that weekend alarm. Commit to the change and see how you feel. You have the power to transform your relationship with sleep. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more science-backed tips. And let me know in the comments, what's the one thing that keeps you up at night? Let's talk about it. Remember to check out the 100% natural home remedy thousands of men are using to boost energy, passion, and stamina in the bedroom. No pills, no pumps, no surgery. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment. Now, watch this video for more revealing content on men's health and well-being.